Hey everybody, just want to do a quick repair video on this Frigidaire mini fridge. There's a bunch of different models, and on this particular one, I picked it up at a recycling center when I was dropping off my recycling. Noticed it sitting next to the dumpster, so I picked it up and decided to take a look at it, and of course it didn't work when I powered it on. So let's take a look at it and see if we can figure out what's wrong with it. I do want to stress before we get into this that you will need a soldering iron and some soldering skills for this. Okay, so I already have the refrigerator partially disassembled. You can see the model number here, which is focuses, an EFMIS462, which oddly enough, whenever I picked this one up, the company that was responsible for this refrigerator issued a recall on several models, but oddly enough this one was not affected for some reason, which you think it would be. But to get it open, there are 4 screw holes. There's 1, 2, and then 3, and then 4. Just pull those Phillips screws out and you'll be able to pull the back cover off. I've already gone a little ways into troubleshooting this, but I'll tell you what I started with first. You can see the AC cord goes into this power supply that converts it to 12 volt DC, and if you have a voltmeter, which I suggest you use for this project, you'll definitely want to test this first to make sure you have voltage going into this board. So if you follow these 2 wires to the board and test for DC voltage, that would be your first step. And in my case, I did have voltage there, so I knew that the switching power supply was in good shape. The next step for me was to remove this board this is the board with the switch on it. Remove it from the case, and to do that, on the other side of it there is a sticker. You want to pry this up, and there are 2 Phillips screws holding the switch in. After you loosen that up, you'll be able to pull the whole board off. After I pulled off the board, I was able to immediately locate the problem. You can see that there is a burn mark right here that actually severed the solder pad from the rest of the board, therefore losing connection. You can see it's burnt all the way through. I was just going to resolder it because I thought that was initially the issue, but as I was unsoldering the legs on the switch, the leg actually separated from the switch, so it had actually come apart inside the switch, and the switch was falling apart. There's a couple of reasons why that may have occurred. It could have been that the switch itself, it was losing connectivity, and when you have a connection that loses connectivity, sometimes that can increase the resistance, which would generate greater heat. Another possibility is that the load on the board, which would be, either the fan or maybe the element, which I don't think that would have caused it, but if it wore out, if maybe the bearings in the fan, say, were to wear out, it would also increase the amperage draw, which also could have led to this. Or maybe it's a combination of both issues. But either way, I'm going to install this switch, and we'll see if that fixes it. Here's the replacement switch I bought from eBay, and it looks to be an exact replacement. I mean, it's almost exactly the same. But if you're looking for this switch, you want to pay attention to, just do a search for Fillmore 30-9182, and you will find some switches that are exactly like the ones that were on this refrigerator. The important part of it is just to make sure that you have a matching amperage or an amperage that's higher, and that it has to be a double pole, double throw slide switch. So that means, for a double pole switch, you have contacts on one side and contacts on the other, 2 rows of contacts. A double throw would mean that you have a couple of positions that you can move the switch into, or 3 positions I should say. The last important piece of this switch is to make sure that you have an on-off-on switch. That means on either side of the switch, these are on positions, and the middle is an off position. And because either side is on, it doesn't matter which way you put this in. You can put it in, this way or this way. So with that, I'm going to solder this new switch in and remove these legs that I used for bypass, and then after that I'll show you what that looks like, and we'll start it up. So here's what the board looks like with the new switch installed on it. Because that one solder pad is broken, I had to run a leg from that point over to this one. The rest of them soldered on just fine. If you have yours bypassed and you go to install this switch, make sure you remove your bypass wires before you do that. And now, I'm going to screw this switch back in where it goes, and then I'm going to put the 4 screws back in, and then we'll test it. Alright, so I've had this plugged up for about a day inside the house. I just brought it outside to get a better view of it. And you can see it is working now. I'll have to put some glue on that sticker there for it to stick back, but you can see that the LED is lit. And then if you move it down, the warming function turns on. So it is working again. Keep in mind that these mini fridges will only bring the temperature down about 20 to 25 degrees below ambient temperature. So if you have it in a hotter setting, it's probably not going to cool anything down very well. But I can show you the temperature. You can see we're running about 51, about 50. Not too bad. But anyway, hopefully this video has helped out. And thanks for watching.